I'm Mark Turner with the Gilroy Chamber of Commerce, and we're back doing our Why Gilroy segment. And I wanted to welcome Michelle Bueno and Pablo Judkins with the Center for Social Dynamics. Michelle, Pablo, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us, Mark. We're excited to be here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Glad you guys could make it. We always like to start the segments off and mentioning our sponsor of the segment. We want to thank Bracco's Towing for sponsoring our Why Gilroy segment. We appreciate that part of what he does. So as we get into this, Michelle and Pablo, we just want to ask, hey, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves? Michelle, let's start with you.
This is Michelle, and I am pretty much a native of Morgan Hill. I grew up in Morgan Hill, started attending school there in about first grade. I have 4 kids that I put through the district as well, and I went to school locally. So I went to First Community College, Gavilan, and then Monterey Bay, and then my master's at Santa Clara. And I got into this field because I started working with kids with special needs at the school district level, and I just wanted to be able to give more at a bigger level.
That's terrific. Thank you, Michelle. How about you, Pablo?
So I've started in this field in 2007, and similar to Michelle, I started in the school setting during some kind of student teaching, and that's what really kind of exposed me to the needs in this field, and I've been in the field ever since. I joined CSD in 2016 and really kind of felt that sense of community, really felt like home, when I stepped into the office there. Just a great community, a lot of collaboration, and a lot of support just to provide these services to these kids and clients that we serve.
And where'd you grow up, Pablo? Are you from the area?
I'm from San Jose, and so most of the in-home services I've provided have been around Santa Cruz and Monterey counties, and I'm sure we'll get into it in a moment. But Gilroy, our map is quite large, so Michelle and I kind of, we help each other, and I've historically been kind of on the outskirts of that map, but predominantly in Santa Cruz and Monterey areas.
Got it. Okay. Well, Pablo, can you explain the services that you provide? What is it all about?
Yeah, so we provide quite a variety. We, in Gilroy, what's our strength and really sets us apart is we're clinic-based services. Obviously, that's a little unique during, during COVID right now. We can get more into that later. But, we're really relationship-based. We set our kids up for success. We really try to promote their strengths, right? And so we'll work on skills and programs with our kids, typically in a one-on-one treatment style, but it's a team approach where we have, behavior specialists that will work directly with our clients. We have mid-level supervision that will provide that support for the clients and families. And then we have a clinical director that holds a BCBA, typically a license, to oversee the overall program development and progress. And so we take that kind of multifaceted approach to services. And as I said, it's mostly, just very strength-based, following the clients' needs. But we put a lot into that relationship because we really want to instill in them that confidence, that comfort to work with us and to kind of promote success in their children.
So, Michelle, can you explain to me the typical client that you guys might see on a daily basis?
All right. So we see a variety of children. We see a lot of children on the autism spectrum. And then we also see children with other disabilities, from diagnoses that I've never even heard of to Down syndrome to learning disabilities. Whatever disability that you think that a child may have, we help in every area. We have traditional ABA services, which includes, like Pablo said, a child working with a specialist one-on-one. And then we have the different levels that Pablo had mentioned, as well as we're that one-stop shop where it took us, so long to become that one-stop shop. And what that means is we have our traditional ABA, we have occupational therapy services in clinic, and we also provide in-home support, and then also speech and language. So, kids that are struggling with occupational needs, which could be a lot of self-help, fine motor, gross motor skills. We help with those, as well as kids with speech and language deficits. We help with those. And then prior to COVID, our clinic was really booming, and we had a lot of peers and social skills groups for kids of various ages, where kids would get into groups and they had a facilitator, kind of like a teacher that went through a special curriculum and worked on different skill sets for the different age groups.
Well, as you mentioned, pre-COVID, now this past year, of course, has been very challenging, very difficult for everybody. And so, how have you made adjustments in order to meet the needs of the kids that you're working with?
That's a great question. In the beginning, it was really hard, but we took we had to. Our families really needed our help. So what we had to do is we had to adjust very quickly to what we call telehealth. And we were able to provide a lot of our clients with telehealth options. And then also, like, we do have a functioning clinic. So we were able to, those children that could not have telehealth, we kind of prioritized them for clinic-based services, and we had a limited amount of children and staff in the clinic during that time. And then a lot of kids went to home services, so they just had their home services one-on-one. Now that things are getting a little bit I don't want to say normal, but a little bit back to normal, where more people are getting vaccinated and we know a little bit more, families are starting to come back to the clinic.
Well, very good. So, Michelle, tell me why Gilroy? Why did you guys choose to invest in Gilroy?
We initially invested in Gilroy because our primary funding source, which is Kaiser, they have a special rule for clients. So if they live outside of a county that does not have Kaiser, then they have to have clinic-based services. So their services have to be within an area that there's a Kaiser. And since like Pablo says, Gilroy not only just services clients in Gilroy, we have families that work in Gilroy, but they might live in like San Benito County, Monterey County, Los Baños, different counties, but they have to have their services in Gilroy. So we wanted to make it easiest and most convenient for families. So we chose a location that was the most southern point of Santa Clara County, and that's how we came up with Gilroy.
Very good. Okay. Well, Pablo, if someone's out there and would like to learn more about the services that you offer and how they could be involved, whether from the standpoint of maybe as a client or if by chance you guys are hiring and looking for staff, what's the best way for them to reach you?
You can check us out online at csdautismservices.com, or you can feel free to stop by the clinic, 9360 No Name Uno, suite number 130 in Gilroy. We're right behind the St. Louis Hospital there. Otherwise, feel free to give us a call at the office as well, 408-843-9350. If you have any questions, if you feel like, a lot of us were exposed to kids with autism through our friends and family in the community as well. So, if you have any questions whatsoever, if you're interested in this line of work, please feel free, reach out to us online, stop by, give us a call, whatever works best for you.
Outstanding. Michelle and Pablo, thank you so much for joining us today and helping us understand a little bit more about what you do and what the Center for Social Dynamics is all about.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, that does it for today. I'm Mark Turner, President of the Gilroy Chamber of Commerce.